special guest with us this evening, ladies and gentlemen. This man has performed all over the world in his head. And he's maybe lucky to have done 1 or 2 gigs, but tonight, for it's like Make-A-Wish, he's got one. I've made him the headliner, ladies and gentlemen. So please give him a headliner's round of applause for the wonderful James Cadden!
Hello! Hello! It's very nice to be here in a room that looks like the recession took place in the Great Gatsby. Fuck that up! First stroke change, you fucked it up. Headliner, I don't think so. Great Gatsby. Never read it, never will. Okay, so I had a lot of fun tonight. A lot of people talking about dick pics. Has anyone noticed that? Anyone here, genuinely, any lads ever send a dick pic?
No.
Me neither. I just don't have the balls. That's not a headline joke either, James, no? Right. What can I talk about? So I hope you've all made it through Stormophilia, okay? Stormophilia, it's kind of weird. Sounds like somebody who likes to fuck hurricanes. Talking about getting blown, am I right? No, not that either. What I did for Stormophilia, I made it through alright. I stayed in and I watched episodes of Friends. And I was just on Comedy Central, which is probably the least productive thing you could do with your time. But so I'm watching episodes of Friends, and it occurs to me, is it weird to anyone else that Friends never acknowledged 9/11? Do you know what I mean? Like, they're in New York City, alright? You see cutaways of the Twin Towers in every episode, more or less. But there was you never saw Chandler looking out the window saying, "Oh man, could that plane be any closer to that building?" Oh, it can. Oh dear God. Oh my God, that is all. Monica! Ross, get out here! And I think Monica and Ross would feature very heavily in the 9/11 episode of Friends because Monica, right, she loves to clean shit, right? And Ross is a paleontologist, loves to go digging for bones. So they'd be in their element in Friends, you know what I mean? Jesus. Friends, the 9/11 episode. I'll be there for you when the planes start to fall. Sorry, Aaron, the token American, I apologize if I offended you. I realize it's a very sensitive subject matter. People from America don't like you talking about it. I'm making fun of it. And rightfully so, because it's a great sitcom, you know what I mean? So, shut up. Stephen, I've actually gigged with Stephen once before. I thought he did a great job tonight. Yeah, talked about something. Yeah, go on. That's the only applause I'll get tonight, Stephen, and it's yours, so fuck you. He talked about something quite close to my heart. He talked a lot about Facebook, and I'm kind of the subject matter I agree with because I feel like Facebook really did take the romance out of stalking. Do you know what I mean? Like, Stephen kind of walked you through it, you're just spending hours and hours on Facebook, but that's the new way, alright? I remember a time, if you wanted to stalk someone, alright, you had to leave your house, you had to go over to where they live, and sort of climb over the back wall into the garden, and even peer into the window as they're getting dressed. And I even had a sneaky little Weinstein in the bushes, you know, but it's fucking November, it's so cold you can't even get an erection. Then all of a sudden the neighbour's dog comes over and starts barking, making a load of noise, you panic and you kick the fucking dog to death. As she's coming to the window to see what all that noise was, you panic. I know what I'll do, I'll pretend to be the dog. And you know what, she actually, believe me guys, silly, silly girl. Can't believe we're related. So, let's, I'm kind of losing this here. I'm going to get this back outside. Anyone here like dogs? Yeah. I love dogs. My favourite animal Tell me, Aaron, what's your favourite breed of dog?
Pug.
Oh, really? It's a pug? Yeah. I fucking hate pugs, Aaron. Alright? And I don't get the fascination with them. Little scrunched up faces that they struggle to breathe out of. Why is it that you and every woman I know looks at that and thinks, gosh, look, it's so inbred and repugnant, that's adorable, I just have to have it. See, it confuses me and slightly angers me because why can't you have that same mentality when it comes to men? No woman here looking up thinking, oh look, He's the headlining comedian who fucked up his first joke and he's overweight, but she clearly pointed out, I'm looking here, there's no one else over here! You're talking about me! I know that you were! Hey! And that's the reason I don't like plugs, Aaron, alright? Sorry. A bit all over the place. I'm having a bit of a weird day, as you can probably tell. My day, it even started off very strange. I woke up this morning, right, and I actually found a grey pubic hair. Oh, nobody wants that. Even more alarming, though, was that I found it in my mouth. Yes, my grandfather owes me an explanation. Relax, I'm joking. He's dead. At least I hope so. Otherwise, the cremation was a huge mistake, you know? I think I always wondered about cremation. If you die in a house fire, is that like half priced off the cremation? Because the job's half done, you know what I mean? Comedy's not paying the bills, I gotta save money whenever I can. Okay, let's go for something that I have no segue for whatsoever. Let's just jump right in. Anyone here like the film Toy Story? Yeah. One of my favourite films growing up as a child. When it came out, it blew me away. I loved it. I was 6 years old. It transformed me. But, you know, I'm reminded of a prank that my brother and his friends played on me. I was 6 years old. I was fairly gullible. They actually convinced me that it's real and that your toys come to life and walk and talk. And the 6-year-old me believed it entirely, and I was terrified because, I mean, if the toys in this house come to life and walk and talk, that means my sister's Barbie is going to be able to rat me out for undressing it all the time. Yeah, it was like 6-year-old Harvey Weinstein, just, you had the part, Barbie. But, you know, I look back at that, I'm embarrassed, you know, because obviously I had nothing to worry about. Because it was the black Barbie, no one's ever going to believe her, so... Relax, it's a joke. My mother would never allow a black Barbie in our house. I know it's horrible, I'm with you guys, she's a rich bitch, fuck her. No, I'm not, that's not cool. So I'm single now? Yeah. Sure. And I'm watching a little too much porn, I think. I'm gonna be honest with you, yeah. Tell you, you know you're lonely when you go back to watching softcore porn just for the intimacy. Do you know what I mean? Oh, look, they're holding hands and kissing and making eye contact. Why can't I have that? By which I mean the intimacy, not the 12-inch uncircumcised cock, but that'd be nice too. This next joke, I'm not gonna lie to you, is I'm gonna give you a little warning. This is particularly... I've gotten in a lot of trouble for this next joke. It's not nice, it's a horrible joke. It's disgusting. It's despicable. Do you want to hear it? Yeah! Alright, so I went back watching softcore porn. Because personally I feel hardcore pornography is too rough. It's aggressive and it's horrible. And what it does, right, when you think about it, it actually, it normalizes aggressive sexual behaviour to impressionable young teenagers that are watching it, think this is healthy sexual behaviour. And that's a bad thing, alright? That's a very bad thing because, you know, I truly fear for the day when a video emerges of a guy and girl in bed together. Instead of whipping out his dick, he whips out a gun and shoots her in the head. And then fucks the corpse. Yeah, I know, it's pretty horrible. But you have to admire his innovation because he's just provided himself the option of a fourth hole. I know! Do you want me to make it worse? Yeah, these are sick, man, these are sick. Well, the thing about that fourth hole is, gentlemen, is you do not need to get it wet because the blood is sufficient lubrication.
Oh, Jesus.
How long have I got left?
6
6
hours. No, I'm on something. 6.
6, alright. Let's go back to the childhood. Where it all began. My favourite toy growing up as a child. Does anyone remember Tamagotchis? Yeah, I love Tamagotchis, man. For anyone that don't know, they were this little digital handheld virtual pet thing, and you got to carry it around with you, and you had to feed it and look after it, right? And parents really liked that because it taught children responsibility that was needed to look after a pet. Because if you didn't look after it, it would die. And what it taught me as a child is that I really love to kill small animals. I used to, I would rush home from school every day, just sit in my room and slowly watch it starve to death. Just looking at it, eating a packet of crisps that I clearly didn't need. Would you like some Tamagotchi? Oh wait, I forgot, you can only eat algorithms. Well, there's none of those on the menu tonight, I'm sorry. You know, they say that's how serial killers get their start, by killing off small animals, and prophecy fulfilled, because before I knew it, I was killing off Sin's characters by the dozen. Technological bloodthirst was unquenchable. No, that's not entirely true. That's not true at all, actually. I didn't even own Tamagotchi as a child. I really wanted one, but my parents wouldn't let me have one. And maybe if they had got me one, I wouldn't have spent my childhood killing real small animals. So that's all now. Okay, gotta get them back on your side again, James. You're losing them. This will get them. Anyone here like musicals? Yeah. What's your favorite musical?
The Sound of Music.
I forgot the English.
Okay, I wasn't asking what you did with your weekend, I was asking what your favorite musical is. No?
The one about the coal miners in Billy Elliot musical.
Billy Elliot. Wrong answer. Next.
Sound of Music.
Wrong. Come on.
Annie.
Yeah! Who said that?
Me.
Grease is not a good musical.
Yes. And I agree with you.
Because
Well, no, I'll say it.
Yeah,
We'll see if it was the same thing. Alright. What's one of the really famous songs in Greece? Does anyone know? Shout them out if you know. Summer Lovin'. Good man. 10 points. Well, no, they were going with Summer Lovin'. I'm sorry you were too late. Summer Lovin'. You know, there is a line in Summer Lovin' that goes, tell me more, was it love at first sight? Tell me more, did she put up a fight? Did she put, she put up a fight. You know what they're, if you question that, what they're really asking is, oh, Zuko, did you rape that broad or what? Come on, tell me, hey, did she put up a fight? Fucking Harvey Weinstein, the musical, man. No, people argue that, oh, well, James, you know, that was the 70s, it was a different time. And that's bullshit, or I'm not buying that for a second. You know what that is? That's the Jimmy Savile defense. That's how he got away with it for so long. Jim will fix it. Remember that joke, Kieran? Jim will fix it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, unless it's a hymen. In which case, you won't. Oh yeah, back to Greece. You know, they say, oh, the 70s was a different time. But it's not like today's fucking music is any better, alright? What was that fucking song that came out a few years ago? Blurred Lines. Remember that one? I know you want it. I know you want it. Even though you say you don't want it. I know you want it. And when you're struggling and crying, I know you want it. And when you're filing the police report, I know you want it. And when there's not enough physical evidence to convict, I know you blurred lines! That's how I remember it anyway. Apparently rape culture is fine as long as it's in the form of a catchy musical, so... Oh, you disagree? You're all for rape? Cool. Sure, why not? It's a good time to be at it, it seems. Right here, I'm gonna leave you with this. Kieran the last time I did a gig for Kieran, he kind of said, James, maybe before you go up, could you give just a little disclaimer? And that was probably a good idea, Kieran. I probably should have done that. I wouldn't have for most of the night. You're probably asking yourselves, what happened to this young man that made him so dark and disturbed? And I'll tell you, why not? I feel like we've gotten to know each other. I can trace it back to one specific memory. And it's not a nice one, alright? I had the grave misfortune as a young man to walk in on my mother having sex with my father. Oh yeah, nobody wants to see that. But what was really bad about that for me is that my dad had been dead for about 3 years, so needless to say my mother was getting boned in more ways than one.
Oh.
Yes, biologically accurate. Yeah. People, Kieran not so much, but other organisers have told me to apologise for that last joke whenever I do a gig. But I'm not going to. I'm not going to do that because when you think about it, the only real reason that you could be offended by that joke is if you're actually a necrophiliac. And if you are a necrophiliac and you are offended by that last joke, you can drop dead and then go fuck yourself. Because at least then you'd enjoy it. Alright, that's it for me. Good night.
Well, we started with light, fluffy entertainment.